The receipt fell from Marcus's jacket pocket like a whisper of betrayal. $3,000 at Cartier, dated last Tuesday, when he claimed to be working late. I stood in our walk-in closet, the paper trembling between my fingers, while the sounds of Emma practicing piano drifted up from downstairs. My name is Alondra, and until this moment, I'd been living someone else's life. A life where expensive jewelry appeared on other women's necks while I wore the same pearl pendant Marcus gave me on our 10th anniversary. "Mommy, Lucas took my sheet music again." Emma's voice shattered my trance. I crumpled the receipt into my pocket. "Coming, sweetie." My voice didn't crack. 15 years of marriage had taught me how to keep things together, even when they were falling apart. Downstairs, Lucas had scattered piano sheets across the living room floor, giggling as Emma chased him. Nina watched from her playpen, stuffed giraffe clutched to her chest. "Lucas Carter, what did we say about respecting your sister's things?" He pouted, bottom lip quivering. But she wouldn't let me play too. I gathered the sheets, buying time to steady my hands. "Emma's practicing for her recital. You'll have your turn after." "It's not fair," he mumbled, but helped collect the papers anyway. My phone buzzed. A message from Jessica: "Check Vanessa Reed's Instagram now." I waited until the kids were settled, Emma back at the piano, Lucas with his Legos, Nina dozing in her playpen. In the kitchen, I pulled up Instagram, my fingers numb as I typed the name. There it was. Posted 3 days ago, Vanessa at dinner, wearing a diamond pendant that caught the light just so. The caption read, "Sometimes the best surprises come on ordinary Tuesdays." The same Tuesday as the receipt. The room tilted. I gripped the counter, bile rising in my throat. In the background of the photo, just visible, was Marcus's watch, the one I'd given him for Christmas. My phone buzzed again. "Marcus, working late tonight. Don't wait up." I stared at his message, something cold and hard crystallizing in my chest. The Marcus I knew, or thought I knew, was meticulous, careful. He wouldn't make mistakes like leaving receipts in pockets or appearing in social media photos. Unless he wanted to get caught. Unless this was his way of ending things without having to be the bad guy. The piano music stopped abruptly. "Mom? Are you okay?" I turned to find Emma in the doorway, her face pinched with worry. 8 years old and already so attuned to others' pain. Just like I was at her age. "Of course, baby." I forced a smile. "Just thinking about dinner plans." She didn't believe me, I could see it in her eyes, but she nodded anyway. "Can we have pizza?" "Sure." The word tasted like ash in my mouth. "Why don't you help me order?" As Emma scrolled through toppings on my phone, I watched her small fingers move across the screen. She had Marcus's hands, elegant, precise. What else had she inherited from him? His capacity for deception? His talent for hurting the people who loved him most? The diamond pendant in the photo had probably cost more than our monthly mortgage payment. Money that could have gone to Emma's piano lessons, Lucas's speech therapy, Nina's college fund. Money that belonged to our family, now adorning another woman's neck. I kissed the top of Emma's head, breathing in the strawberry scent of her shampoo. "Extra cheese?" I asked, as if this were any other Tuesday, as if my world hadn't just imploded. "Always," she said, smiling up at me. In that moment, looking into my daughter's trusting eyes, I made a decision. Marcus wouldn't get to write the ending to this story. He wouldn't get to be the villain or the victim. This time, I would be the one controlling the narrative. And I would make damn sure he regretted every choice that led us here. Emma refused to go to school the next morning. She lay in bed, covers pulled to her chin, face flushed with what I knew wasn't fever. "My stomach hurts," she insisted, but her eyes darted away from mine. I sat on the edge of her bed, noting the dark circles under her eyes that mirrored my own sleepless night. "Did something happen at school yesterday?" She twisted her blanket between her fingers. No. I don't want to go to piano today. Miss Chen always asks about Daddy, and I don't know what to say anymore. The words hit like a punch to the gut. Of course she'd noticed. Marcus had missed her last 3 recitals, each time with a different excuse that even an 8-year-old could see through. What do you mean, sweetie? She asks if he's practicing with me at home, but he's never here anymore. And when he is? She trailed off, lower lip trembling. And when he is? He's different. Like he's not really seeing us. The doorbell rang downstairs, followed by Lucas's excited shriek. Aunt Jessica. I squeezed Emma's hand. We'll talk more later, okay? But for now, let's get ready. I promise I'll pick you up early today. Jessica was in the kitchen when I came down, helping Lucas with his cereal while bouncing Nina on her hip. She took one look at my face and said, "You look like hell." Language, I warned, nodding toward Lucas. Sorry. She wasn't. Coffee's ready. Strong enough to wake the dead, just how you need it. Once the kids were settled with breakfast, Jessica cornered me by the coffee maker. Have you confronted him yet? I shook my head. He didn't come home last night. Bastard. This time she didn't apologize. What are you going to do? Before I could answer, my phone chimed. A text from Marcus, meeting ran late. Crashed at hotel. Taking clients to breakfast. See you tonight. Jessica read over my shoulder and snorted. Hotel receipt should be interesting. Want me to do some digging at the office? You could lose your job. Jessica worked in HR at Marcus's company, 2 floors below his executive suite. Worth it. Besides, I've been documenting some interesting expense reports lately. She raised an eyebrow meaningfully. The implications sank in slowly. How long have you known? Suspected, not known. And I wasn't sure until you showed me that Instagram post. She shifted Nina to her other hip. There's more, Alondra. The company's announcing layoffs next month. Marcus is on the committee deciding who goes. My hands shook as I set down my coffee. And Vanessa? Rising star in marketing. Just got a promotion that several more qualified people were up for. Emma appeared in the doorway, backpack on, watching us with those 2 perceptive eyes. Mom? We'll be late. The drive to school was quiet. In the rearview mirror, I watched Emma stare out the window, her small face troubled. Lucas hummed to himself, oblivious, while Nina dozed in her car seat. After drop-off, I sat in the parking lot, Jessica's words echoing in my head. The company credit card statements would be in Marcus's desk at home. The same desk where he'd proposed 15 years ago, down on one knee, promising forever. My phone buzzed again. Marcus, don't forget the Hendersons' dinner party Saturday. Wear the blue dress. The blue dress he bought to apologize after missing Christmas at my mother's last year. The one that hung in my closet, tag still on, while Vanessa wore diamonds bought with our children's future. I started the car, but instead of heading home, I turned toward the bank. Time to see exactly what else my husband had been hiding in those joint accounts he thought I never checked. Nina, sweetie, I said to my sleeping daughter, let's go see what Daddy's been up to. The teller's face changed when she pulled up our accounts. She glanced at Nina, then back at me, sympathy crossing her features. Mrs. Carter, would you like to speak with our manager in private? I gripped Nina's carrier tighter. Yes, I said, already knowing whatever I was about to learn would change everything. I would. The bank statements spread across my mother's kitchen table told a story of systematic betrayal. $200,000, transferred in careful increments over the past year to an offshore account. Our children's college funds, drained to almost nothing. He's been planning this, I said, my voice hollow in the quiet kitchen. Nina napped upstairs while my mother, Martha, studied the papers through her reading glasses. The transfers started right after his promotion. She tapped a date with her fingernail. When he got control of the family finances. Because I trusted him. The words tasted bitter. Because he said it would be easier if he handled everything. The doorbell rang. Jessica burst in before I could answer it, her face flushed. You need to see this. She thrust her phone at me. Vanessa just posted it 10 minutes ago. A photo of a tropical beach, white sand and turquoise water. The caption read, "Can't wait for our December getaway. Sometimes the best Christmas presents come early." December. When Marcus had told me he had an unavoidable business conference in Singapore. There's more, Jessica said. I overheard Vanessa on the phone. She's looking at houses in the same neighborhood as the Hendersons. Talking about schools. My mother's hand found mine across the table. Alondra. Schools, I repeated. The word echoed in my head alongside Emma's voice from that morning, he's different. Like he's not really seeing us. My phone buzzed. Marcus, running late again. Don't wait up. P.S. Did you get the blue dress altered for Saturday? The rage that had been simmering for days finally boiled over. I grabbed my keys. Where are you going? My mother called after me. To get altered. I drove to Marcus's office building, my hand steady on the wheel despite the thunder of my pulse. The security guard recognized me, waving me through with a smile. Mr. Carter's in a meeting, Mrs. Carter. That's fine. I'll wait. The elevator ride to the executive floor gave me time to smooth my hair, check my lipstick. I looked exactly like what I was supposed to be, the devoted wife bringing her husband a surprise lunch. Vanessa's office was 3 doors down from Marcus's. Through the glass walls, I could see her at her desk, phone to her ear, laughing at something. She wore the diamond necklace. I knocked on her door. She looked up, smile fading to confusion. Can I help you? Actually, I said, stepping inside and closing the door, I'm here to help you. I'm sorry, I don't. The necklace looks beautiful on you. Marcus has always had excellent taste in jewelry. And women. The color drained from her face. You're his wife. Mother of his 3 children. Owner of the bank account that paid for that necklace. I placed the bank statements on her desk. And the house you're planning to buy. She stared at the papers, then back at me. He said he was separated. That the divorce was almost final. There is no divorce. Yet. I sat down across from her. But there will be. The question is, how many careers will it destroy in the process? Are you threatening me? I'm offering you a choice. The same choice I wish someone had offered me 15 years ago. I pulled out my phone, showing her the photo of Emma at her piano recital. Lucas and Nina in their Sunday best. These are the people he's stealing from. The ones who wait up at night, making excuses for why Daddy missed another dinner, another birthday, another Christmas. Her hand went to the necklace. I didn't know. Now you do. I stood up. You have until Saturday to decide what kind of person you want to be. The woman who helped a man abandon his children, or the one who helped stop him. What happens Saturday? The Hendersons' dinner party. Where Marcus plans to announce his promotion to senior partner. I paused at the door. Unless someone reveals where that promotion money really went. I left her there, staring at my children's faces on her desk, the diamond necklace glittering like tears in the fluorescent light. In the elevator, my phone buzzed again. Marcus, where are you? Need you to pick up my dry cleaning before Saturday. I smiled at my reflection in the mirrored walls. Don't worry, darling, I whispered. Everything will be perfect for Saturday. Marcus came home early that night, something he hadn't done in months. I watched from the kitchen as he played with Lucas on the floor, both of them laughing over a tower of blocks. The perfect father, when he remembered to be one. Daddy, watch. Lucas stacked another block precariously on top. Careful there, champ. Marcus's phone buzzed. His smile flickered as he checked it, then quickly turned it face down. Emma sat at the dining table, homework spread before her, stealing glances at this unexpected family scene. Her pencil moved mechanically across the page, but I could tell she wasn't really solving math problems. I picked up your dry cleaning, I said, keeping my voice light. The blue dress was ready too. Perfect. He didn't look up from his phone. The Hendersons are expecting quite a crowd Saturday. Half the board will be there. Including Vanessa Reed? The name dropped like a stone into still water. His hand stilled on Lucas's blocks. What? From marketing. Jessica mentioned she got that promotion everyone was surprised about. The tower crashed. Lucas wailed as blocks scattered across the floor. Marcus stood, brushing invisible dust from his pants. We should discuss this in private. Why? Afraid the children might learn something new about their father? Emma's pencil snapped. Alondra. His voice carried that familiar warning tone. Not now. When, Marcus? After Christmas in the tropics? Or after you buy that house in the Hendersons' neighborhood? He grabbed my arm, steering me toward his home office. Behind us, Emma had abandoned any pretense of doing homework. Who's been filling your head with these ridiculous ideas? He shut the door, but I could still hear Lucas crying outside. The same people who helped you empty our bank accounts? I'm protecting our future. Our future? I laughed, the sound sharp enough to make him flinch. Or the future you're planning with someone who doesn't know you have 3 children? His face changed then, something cold and calculating replacing the mask of concerned husband. You went to see her. I went to see what $200,000 of our children's money bought. Those transfers were legitimate business investments. In what? Diamond necklaces and beach vacations? He stepped closer, using his height to loom over me the way he did when he wanted me to feel small. You're emotional. Making accusations you can't prove. Who's going to believe you over me? The devoted family man who built this life for you? The board might, when they see where their promotion money really went. His hand shot out, gripping my wrist. Is that a threat? No, darling. I smiled, thinking of Vanessa's face when she saw those bank statements. It's a promise. A small gasp made us both turn. Emma stood in the doorway, tears streaming down her face. Before either of us could speak, she ran. Emma. Marcus called after her, but the sound of her bedroom door slamming echoed through the house. Congratulations, I said, pulling free of his grip. You finally got her to see you clearly. His phone buzzed again. This time, I caught a glimpse of the message preview. V, we need to talk. Now. Fix this, he hissed. Before Saturday. Or I'll make sure you regret it. I thought of the documents Jessica had helped me gather, safely stored with my mother. The text messages. The photos. The financial records. All the evidence of a life carefully constructed on lies. No, Marcus. I walked to the door, pausing with my hand on the knob. You'll regret thinking you could threaten me into silence. Just like you'll regret assuming I'd never fight back. Where are you going? To comfort our daughter. Something you've forgotten how to do. I looked back at him, this stranger I'd spent 15 years loving. Oh, and don't worry about Saturday. I'm sure it will be unforgettable. His phone kept buzzing as I walked away, each notification another crack in the foundation of his carefully built facade. Upstairs, Emma's muffled sobs guided me toward the next battle in this war he'd started. But this time, I wasn't fighting alone. Friday morning brought an unexpected visitor. Vanessa stood on my doorstep, her diamond necklace conspicuously absent. She clutched her designer handbag like a shield. Is Marcus home? Teaching Lucas to ride his bike. I gestured toward the empty driveway. He won't be back for hours. She glanced over her shoulder before stepping inside. I found something you need to see. Nina played in her playpen while Vanessa spread documents across my kitchen counter, the same counter where Marcus had kissed me goodbye that morning. Playing his role of devoted husband. These are transfer records, Vanessa said. Not just from your accounts. From the company's pension fund. My hands shook as I read the numbers. Millions, not thousands. Names I recognized, retirement savings of people who'd worked for the company for decades. He told me it was investment capital, Vanessa whispered. For our future. Our house. Your house, I corrected. Built with other people's futures. The back door slammed. Emma rushed in, face flushed from running. Mom. Lucas fell off his bike and she froze, seeing Vanessa. Emma, go to your room. But Lucas. Now. She went, but not before I saw the recognition in her eyes. She'd seen Vanessa's photos on Marcus's phone. That's your daughter? Vanessa's voice cracked. She looks just like Marcus. I know. I gathered the documents, hands steady now. Why are you really here, Vanessa? The board meeting. Tomorrow morning, before the Hendersons' party. Marcus is presenting the quarterly financials. And these numbers won't match his presentation. She nodded. He doesn't know I found them. Doesn't know I followed him to that cafe last week, saw him with someone from the Cayman Islands. My phone buzzed. Jessica, emergency. Marcus moved the board meeting to today. 3 p.m. The front door opened. Lucas's sobs echoed through the house, followed by Marcus's soothing voice. It's okay, champ. Everyone falls sometimes. Vanessa paled. I shoved the documents into her bag, pushing her toward the back door. Go. Now. She hesitated. Alondra, save it for the board meeting. She slipped out just as Marcus entered, carrying a crying Lucas. His eyes narrowed at the closing door. Who was that? Jessica. Dropping off some papers for Emma's school registration. He set Lucas down, examining his scraped knee. Funny. Thought I saw a different car. Must be the neighbors. I grabbed the first aid kit, kneeling beside Lucas. Let's fix you up, sweetie. Marcus's phone rang. His face darkened at the caller ID. I need to take this. In his office, his voice rose despite the closed door. What do you mean you can't find them? No, check again. The meeting's been moved to today. Lucas sniffled as I cleaned his knee. Daddy said falling means I'm learning. Did he? I smoothed a bandage over the scrape. Sometimes falling shows us who's really there to help us back up. Emma crept downstairs, hovering in the doorway. Mom? Is everything okay? Marcus burst from his office, Ty ask you. Emergency at work. Don't wait up. He didn't kiss me goodbye. Didn't notice Emma's tears or Lucas's bandaged knee. My phone buzzed again. Jessica, board members arriving early. Vanessa's here. She looks scared. Then another message, from my mother, papers ready at the lawyer's office. Just say when. I looked at my children, Emma's knowing eyes, Lucas's healing knee, Nina babbling in her playpen. Thought of all the other families whose futures sat in Vanessa's designer bag, waiting for someone to speak up. Emma, call Grandma. Ask her to watch you and your siblings for a few hours. Where are you going? I grabbed my car keys and the blue dress Marcus wanted me to wear tomorrow. To make sure your father never makes anyone fall again. The dress felt like armor as I headed for the door. Behind me, Emma hugged Lucas close, whispering something that made him smile through his tears. Sometimes falling shows us who we really are. And sometimes, it shows us exactly who we need to become. The boardroom felt colder than I remembered from company Christmas parties. I sat in the back, the blue dress a slash of color among charcoal suits, while Marcus commanded the room from the podium. Our quarterly projections exceed all expectations, he said, clicking through pristine slides. The pension fund investments have yielded unprecedented returns. Vanessa wasn't here. Her empty chair screamed louder than Marcus's practiced lies. My phone vibrated. Jessica, Vanessa's in the hospital. Car accident on her way here. Marcus's driver was involved. The room tilted. I gripped the armrest as Marcus's voice droned on about growth metrics and market penetration. And now, I'd like to address the rumors about unauthorized fund transfers. Heads turned. This wasn't on the agenda. My wife, Marcus's eyes found mine, cold and triumphant, has been experiencing some emotional difficulties lately. Making accusations. Creating false documents. The board chairman frowned. What accusations? She's here now, aren't you, darling? Marcus's smile didn't reach his eyes. Would you like to share your concerns with the board? I stood, papers trembling in my hands. The pension fund? Has been properly managed, Marcus cut in. As evidenced by these notarized statements from our accounting firm. He distributed documents, perfect replicas of Vanessa's evidence, but with different numbers. Different signatures. In fact, he continued, I've recently discovered concerning transfers from our joint accounts to offshore locations. Transfers made by my wife. The room spun. My phone buzzed again, Vanessa in surgery. Documents destroyed in crash. I've already contacted the authorities, Marcus said softly. They're very interested in speaking with you about financial fraud. The chairman cleared his throat. Perhaps we should take a brief recess. I fled the room, heels clicking on marble, Marcus's voice following. As you can see, we're handling this family matter discreetly. In the bathroom, I splashed water on my face. The mirror showed a woman I barely recognized, mascara smeared, lipstick faded, the blue dress suddenly garish under fluorescent lights. The door opened. Jessica slipped in, face pale. Police are in the lobby. Marcus filed charges this morning. The children. Your mother has them. But Marcus filed for emergency custody, claiming financial misconduct. My legs gave out. Jessica caught me before I hit the floor. He planned this, I whispered. The accident, the documents, all of it. There's more. Jessica helped me to my feet. The Hendersons' party tonight? The board will be there. Marcus is announcing a company-wide restructuring. The pension fund will be redistributed before anyone realizes it's gone. The bathroom door swung open again. 2 police officers entered, followed by Marcus. I'm sorry it came to this, darling. His voice carried just the right note of concern. Perfect, like everything else about him. Think of the children. The handcuffs felt like ice against my wrists. As they led me out, past shocked employees and whispers, Marcus's mask slipped for just a moment. I saw what Emma had seen, the stranger wearing her father's face. Your daughter knows, I said quietly as we passed. She'll never forgive you. Something flickered in his eyes. Fear, maybe. Or recognition of what he'd lost. In the police car, my phone buzzed one final time. Through tears, I read Jessica's message. Vanessa woke up. She made copies. But it was too late. Marcus had one. He'd take the children, the money, the carefully constructed life we'd built. By the time the truth came out, the damage would be done. The police station loomed ahead, gray and imposing. Like the walls Marcus had built around our family, brick by brick, until we were all trapped inside. I closed my eyes, seeing Emma's face this morning as I left. She'd hugged me tight, whispering, "I believe in you, Mom." My daughter's faith would have to be enough. Because right now, watching my freedom disappear in the rearview mirror, I didn't believe in anything anymore. Not even revenge. The Hendersons' party sparkled with champagne and success, but the whispers followed Marcus like shadows. 3 hours after my arrest, I walked into their marble foyer, still wearing the blue dress, now accessorized with a police detective's badge. Marcus froze mid-laugh, his champagne flute trembling slightly. "How?" "Your driver confessed." I moved through the crowd, which parted like water. Fascinating story about being paid to run Vanessa off the road. The board chairman appeared at Marcus's elbow. "What's the meaning of this?" "Show them, Jessica." She stepped forward, tablet in hand. On the screen, security footage played, Marcus in the parking garage, handing cash to his driver. The timestamp matched perfectly with Vanessa's accident. "That proves nothing," Marcus said, but his voice had lost its smooth confidence. "The copies prove everything." Vanessa's voice rang out from the doorway. She stood there, arm in a sling, face bruised but determined. "The ones I sent to the SEC before leaving for the board meeting." The room erupted in murmurs. Marcus's face twisted. "You stupid." "The pension fund transfers," I cut in. "The offshore accounts. The falsified documents. The SEC has it all." "You're bluffing." But his eyes darted toward the exit. "Emma," I called out. "Show your father what you found." Our daughter emerged from behind Jessica, holding Marcus's laptop. "I remembered your password, Daddy. The one you used for my birthday." The color drained from his face. "Emma, baby. Don't." Her voice shook, but her chin stayed high. "I saw the emails. About the accident. About Mom." The detective stepped forward. "Marcus Carter, we have some questions about attempted murder." Marcus lunged for the door, but crashed into Martha, who'd positioned herself there precisely for this moment. As he stumbled, the board chairman grabbed his arm. "The authorities are very interested in those pension funds," I said quietly. "But I'm willing to make a deal." "A deal?" He spat the word like poison. "Sign over full custody. Return every penny you stole. Walk away from the children you never really wanted anyway." "Or what?" "Or Emma testifies about the emails. About everything she saw and heard. About her father ordering someone to kill her mother's friend." His facade cracked completely. "You bitch. You planned this." "No, Marcus. You did. With every lie, every betrayal, every moment you chose yourself over our children." The detective moved forward with handcuffs, but I held up my hand. "Wait. One more thing." I stepped closer to Marcus, close enough to smell his expensive cologne. "Emma asked me last week why you stopped loving us. I told her you never stopped, because I thought that would hurt less than the truth." "The truth?" "That you never loved us at all. We were just props in your perfect life." "But props can be replaced, can't they? Like that necklace you bought Vanessa." The handcuffs clicked into place. As the detective led him away, Marcus looked back at Emma. She turned away, pressing her face into my side. "I'm sorry," he whispered, but I couldn't tell if he meant it, or if it was just another performance. The board chairman cleared his throat. "Mrs. Carter, about those pension funds. Talk to my lawyer tomorrow." I smoothed Emma's hair. "Tonight, I'm taking my children home." Later, as we drove away from the Hendersons, Emma asked, "Did we win?" I thought about revenge, about justice, about the thin line between them. About a blue dress and a diamond necklace and all the ways love can turn to poison. "No, baby. Nobody wins in things like this. But sometimes." I met her eyes in the rearview mirror, saw her father's features transformed by something stronger than genetics: choice. Sometimes we survive. And that's enough. She nodded, understanding more than any 8-year-old should. In the back seat, Lucas slept peacefully, while Nina babbled at the passing streetlights. Too young to remember the night their father's perfect life finally shattered. But I would remember. And so would Marcus, in whatever prison cell awaited him. Some lies are too expensive to survive their own truth. The blue dress hung in the donation box, a splash of sky among gray winter coats. Emma helped me sort through the closet, carefully folding each piece of our old life away. Can I keep this? She held up Marcus's Harvard sweatshirt, the one he'd worn on weekend mornings before everything changed. Of course. I watched her clutch it close, understanding some pieces of him were still worth saving. Lucas burst in, brandishing a crayon drawing. Look what I made in therapy. The stick figures held hands, just 4 of them now, standing under a yellow sun. No tall figure in a suit casting shadows over the scene. It's beautiful, sweetheart. My voice stayed steady, even as Emma's fingers tightened in the sweatshirt's fabric. The doorbell rang. Jessica arrived with coffee and news. The pension funds are being restored. The board wanted you to know first. And Marcus? Took the plea deal. 10 years, no possibility of early release. Nina toddled over, arms raised. I scooped her up, breathing in baby shampoo and innocence. Has he asked about them? No. Jessica's voice softened. But Vanessa left something for Emma. She pulled out a familiar velvet box. Inside, the diamond necklace caught the light, each facet reflecting a different lie. Emma touched it gently. It's pretty. It's yours, if you want it. I watched her face, seeing echoes of her father's features transform with something uniquely her own, wisdom. No. She closed the box. Can we sell it? For Lucas's speech therapy? My throat tightened. Are you sure? She nodded, already turning back to the closet. It's just stuff, Mom. Like Daddy. The doorbell rang again. Martha entered with groceries and determination. Everyone staying for dinner. No arguments. As she commandeered the kitchen, I found myself in Marcus's study. The desk where he'd proposed still held ghosts of our past, pen marks from signed permission slips. Coffee rings from late nights planning futures that never came. Need help? Jessica appeared with a packing box. Just thinking. Dangerous hobby. The revenge. I traced a coffee stain. It didn't fix anything. No. She started emptying drawers. But it showed them the truth. All of them. In the kitchen, I heard Emma teaching Lucas a new piano piece, their laughter mixing with Martha's cooking sounds and Nina's babbling. A different kind of music than the perfect symphony Marcus had demanded. Found something. Jessica held up a photo, creased and faded, Marcus and me on our wedding day, his smile practiced, mine real. Want to keep it? No. I took the photo, remembering that naive bride. She doesn't live here anymore. The last box was almost full when Emma called out, Mom. Lucas got it right. I rushed to the living room. Lucas sat at the piano, tiny fingers picking out Twinkle, Twinkle Little Star while Emma beamed beside him. Listen, he said proudly, playing the sequence again. No hesitation, no stutter. Just pure, imperfect music. Martha appeared in the doorway, wiping tears with her apron. Jessica squeezed my hand. Again. Nina clapped from her playpen. As Lucas started over, Emma caught my eye. We're okay, aren't we, Mom? I looked at my children, Emma's quiet strength, Lucas's determined focus, Nina's joyful innocence. At Jessica and Martha, who'd helped rebuild what Marcus tried to destroy. Yes, I said, and for the first time since finding that receipt, it wasn't a lie. We're better than okay. Later, after dinner and baths and bedtime stories, I found the Harvard sweatshirt folded neatly in the donation box. Emma had placed it there herself, choosing to keep her father's love while letting go of his ghost. Some revenge brings only more pain. But sometimes, between the burning bridges and broken promises, you find something stronger than vengeance, the truth of who you really are, reflected in the eyes of those who choose to stay. I closed the donation box, sealing away the last pieces of Marcus's perfect lie. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new fears, new reasons to doubt. But tonight, my children slept peacefully in their beds, their dreams finally their own. And that was the sweetest revenge of all.